Hello, Keith here. All right, this is day 2 of PanzerBlitz scenario 1. Day 2 of PanzerBlitz situation 1. I'm on turn 4. So the object of this, let me just put up the situation chart as a brief review. So the Russians have to get 8 or more, destroy 8 or more German units in order to get a marginal victory. A key thing here is that the command post units count as 5 units for purposes of destruction. So the situation is you have these command posts right here. All right, see where it says CP there? That's one. That's command post over there. There's one there, and there's one there. Now, if you destroy one of those command posts, you destroy that, and you get 3 more units. And the Russian player has at least a marginal victory conditions. So the way I did my approach for the Russians was coming from the east here and going north. The shortest distance is from the south, but I came from the east. The reason, because there were a lot of blockages to the south. This is a strong German setup to the south. But this side right here is wide open, so that's why I chose this. You could also come up north, but I think it's a little bit longer drive. So I came up this way, sent the tanks ahead first. The tanks basically pinned down the infantry. We're just engaging shots in the infantry. Infantry in cities or in woods is very difficult to deal with. So they dispersed my tanks, so it's just back and forth. We're on the 4th turn. Meanwhile, the cavalry is coming up here. I got 2 cavalry here. I have 2 cavalry coming up here from the south. And over here, in this wagon, I have the anti-armor, which can be very effective against those pillboxes. And I have some infantry. And over here, I have the mortars, and looks like I have a howitzer over there. Now coming down south, we have these 2 little units, which we have another mortar and another infantry unit coming up from the south. I could have put them on tanks. I didn't want to. I might do that in the next scenario, but right now I just want to try it this way, where I'll have the infantry right on tanks. So what it looks like I'm going to try to knock out this pillbox right here in the center of the board. And I'm also going to try to knock out this guy hanging right there. Should be easy prey. So I think I'm going to have the cavalry take this unit out right here. And that's 1. And then if I could take this pillbox out, that would give the Russians at least, I believe, a marginal, what are they called? It'll give the Russians at least 12 or more. Even a tactical victory would be difficult, but we'll see. If I can take this out, that's 8 points. So if I take this pillbox out and the security who's toast, then I already have a marginal victory. Then I would have to take 4 more units out over here, which is going to be very difficult. Now, a big consideration here is the armor. The armor against armor. So this gun right here is an anti-armor weapon, and it's very, very powerful against the armor. So if at all possible, I want to avoid that. And this front over here is just deadly. They have a 20 over there and a 14, and there's a minor gun. The thing is with this scenario right here is that the Germans' artillery are not mobile. Their Germans have very, very little mobility in this scenario. They have the armor, there's some very big weapons, but they can't move. The only units that can move are these security forces over here, and I have an engineer unit. Now the engineer units are very powerful in the sense that the engineer units can add 1 whole column shift to any close assault attack. So, and my dog's making noise. Okay, so my plan, so I'm going to remove these pieces. So this hex side right here, if I go right here with my units, I believe that this is blocked. This gray will block the line of sight from this armor unit over here, from this from the anti-armor weapon. So this hex right here should be a safe hex to bring the vehicles. And once I get them there, but the first thing I'm going to do is hold over here. I'm going to send the cavalry up right here to take out this security unit right here in the woods. And then meanwhile, I'm going to stage with the rest of my units right here coming up by the wagons. This right here, these tanks, I think, these armor units, I think I'm going to have them. I think I'm going to reposition these armor units to this hex right here. So that's what I'm going to do. All right, so I'm going to take a break for a second. So if you look to the north, just as an aside here, if you look to the north, I have this command post right here, and that's 5, 6. So this would be really easy to take out without losing a lot of units. And that right there is 6 points. Then all you would have to do is get 2 units in this main area right here. So that would be another possible way of attacking this very strong position. The only real obstacle are these blocks right here, and that would make it difficult for the tanks to get through. You would have to come up onto the bridge on this road, and the armor units, I believe, would find a difficult way getting through. I don't know if they could. I'd have to look up the rule on blocks, but if the armor units can get through blocks, then that could be another way of attacking this position right here. It's because you get 6, 7. All you need to do is take out one of these right here, one of the main block at the top of the mesa, so to speak. Okay. So we'll go look at the turn track. We're on turn 4. The top of turn 4. Normally the Germans move first. In this case, the Russians are moving first. So first phase is going to be, and again, I'm looking up. I just want to make sure I get the phases right. Okay. Thank you for your patience. Okay, let's take a look at the phases. And I really want to have this printed out. Okay, so it's minefield attacks, and then it's regular attacks, then it's move, then it's close assaults. Okay, so vehicle, move before non-vehicle. All right, so the first phase is going to be attacks. So these 2 units right here are going to gang up. Are those in woods? I know units in towns have to be attacked as 1 stack, but units in woods have to be attacked as 1 stack. So I'm going to look that up on this. Terrain effects table, towns. Okay, so that doesn't, so woods, units of woods don't have to be attacked together. So I can just pick one of these. So I'm going to pick that machine gun, that submachine gun unit in that woods right there. And this right here has 24, it'll be 24 to 6, so it'll be 4 to 1 odds. Let's just look at the terrain effect chart. All right, weapons effectiveness chart. Armor against all others, so it's going to be half firepower because it's armor against infantry. So that'll be 24, and I made a mistake last turn on that. But let's go on. So that'll be 24 to 6. That'll be halved. So it'll be 12 to 6. So it'll be 2 to 1 odds plus 1. So 2 to 1 odds plus 1. Let's roll the dice. A 5. Let's look at the attack chart. CRT. 2 to 1, a 5, so it gets a dispersal on that unit. So meanwhile, I can mark these guys have fired. So this unit becomes dispersed. Control V, and these units become fired. And Control F. I want to get in the habit of using the smart keys. Control F. Okay. Okay, so that's done. Those 2 units have fired. These 2 units are dispersed, so they'll become undispersed at the end of this turn. But they're not undispersed yet. Alright, so let the cavalry attack begin. So 1, 2, can they get up there? They might not even be able to get up there. So in that case, I would probably have to stage them on this slope right here. So that's gonna be tricky to get up. So the terrain effect chart for slopes. It says 4 for trucks and all other vehicles, 3. 4 for trucks to enter, all other enter. But the question is, on slopes, is there any extra charge for infantry types? So let's take a look. Okay, so I looked some things up. So these blocks right here will not prevent vehicles from coming through this way right here. So it should be possible to take out this point right here and just go through, and these will slow you down some, but they won't stop you. So, and just move with the vehicles through here, take out this one isolated guy over here, and come into the main area. So slopes, I looked up the rules. There's no penalty for infantry moving on slopes, which is surprising to me because in most games there is, but I'm going to use the rules of PanzerBlitz as they are. So my infantry, 1, 2, 3. So these cavalry are going to go 1, 2, 3, and these cavalry will go 1, 2, 3, and all right, so they're in place now to take out that security unit over there. And the wagons. Now I want to set these wagons up and set these units up. Okay, so they're going to have to move separately. So the anti-armor unit can be effective against these strong points. So I'm going to move it to the top of the hill first. This wagon, it's going to be with this wagon, 1, 2. 1, 2, so it moved up. So initially it moved, initially it moved up here, and then it's on the turn, it's going to do that like that. So that armor can hit that armor target right there. And it, okay. Now the next thing is a machine gun unit, great defense. It can go 1, 2, 3, so it's going to go right. Do I want to do that? That's the question, yes. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, and then it's going to let off its passengers. Come on, come on. Okay, yeah, there it is. Right there. I'm going to do a check on the passenger rule for a moment. All right, so you can either load, you can transport, or you can load and transport. So they loaded, they transported and then unloaded. So you can load, transport, or transport and unload. There you go. All right, so this one, the thing with mortars is mortars can have, you can do indirect fire with mortars, I believe, if you have somebody spotting for them, but I'm just going to move these up here. So that's 1, 1.5, and they're going to start going up the slope, 2.5. And of course, we can't forget our friend down here, still hurrying to catch up. They should be there around the end game, so they might be able to have an effect. I have, looks like a submachine gun unit and another mortar unit. I actually don't think they have indirect fire with mortar units. I think that's an optional rule, but I'm not doing optional rules. So, all right, so clear moved. Looking at the time. All right, so that's going to be the move. So we did the fire phase, we did the vehicular movement phase, we did the infantry movement phase. So now we can do the close assault phase. I'm going to make sure I get this right. Yep. Non-vehicular, yep, close assaults. So we can do close assaults. So even units that move can do close assaults. So this unit right here, this 8, is not going to close assault there, but these can close assault. So I got 10, 20, 40. And that's armor, so I can't close assault. So these cavalry can close assault that unit in the woods. All right, so I looked up the close assault rules. Russian cavalry cannot move more than 1 hex in a turn that they close assault. So ideally, what I would have done then is have the cavalry rest here on the slope, and then just a stage right there, and then they would have went up the hill. But since I already did it, I could move back and just put them right here because I'm still learning the rules. But I'm just going to leave them up there for the time being then. I'm not going to do the close assault. But if I had known that, what I should have done is left these cavalry right here just to stage, then they come up and they wipe off this unit. I think that's the only attack I have here. All right, so that's going to be it for the Russian turn. We're going to move right on to the bomber turn 4. It's now the Germans' turn 4. Right there. Okay. So before you do that, these dispersed units, Control D, lose their dispersal. Okay. D, oops. D, move this one up. Control D. Okay, there we go. And let's see, that's this one. That's dispersed. Okay, so it's now the Germans' turn. No minefield attacks. Now the German announces its attacks. So that's going to give this unit a chance to run away, which is good for them. However, if this runs away, I can put my... No, I can't. I have to load it up again now, so... Okay, well, we'll see. So is this... Okay, so we're going to leave him here. He's not going to have a really good attack anyways. Unless he attacks that wagon. defense factor of 1. You can always attack the wagon 2 to 1. It'll just be dispersed anyways. All right, yeah, let's do that. Let's have this unit, the security unit, will attack that wagon. So I'm going to look at the weapons effectiveness chart. So it's infantry against infantry, and it's going to be normal. It's going to be a 2 to 1 attack. Let's see. Type of target, all others, normal. Okay. Okay, so move over. Okay, so it's going to be 2 to 1 against that vehicle there. Well, cart, you can call a cart a vehicle. The shortcut key is F5. So let's roll that dice. So we rolled a 4, and the chart's 2 to 1. Panzerblitz charts, don't want that. PanzerBlitz chart, combat results table, 2 to 1, rolled a 4. So it's a dispersal of the vehicle. Well, that's something, I guess. And this will be marked as fired. Control F. Control D. Okay. Okay, so he fired. Let's see what we got going on over here. So this unit has the 2 howitzers. And it could hit the transport really badly. And that submachine gun unit has very good defense. Short range, good defense. These guys right here can be used for close assault. So that armor unit right there. And that unit right there. So this armor gun right here, I think has a line of sight. Let's, okay, so we're going from here, from that point to that point. It does not have a line of sight, but it does have a line of sight to that unit over here. So it's armor against armor, A against A. So that has, it doesn't, and that doesn't block line of sight. So it's going to be 20 to 3. So the odds right here for this armored against this armored unit is going to be 20 to 3, and it's going to be 7 to 1. 7 to 1 attack. Okay, let's look at the combat results table. That's going to be automatically eliminated. So this gun right here is going to be eliminated. I'll pull up the KIA box, and that goes in the Russian. So this, it would be this right here that fired. Okay, so that's an effective weapon. Now, what else do we have here? The only other armored weapon we have right here is that armored gun, which has an attack factor of 8. But that's not enough to affect, well, you can get 1 to 2 odds, I guess. 1 to 2 odds. So yeah, that's going to take its shot. It's going to take a 1 to 2 odds against this top vehicle right here, against the T-34. That's just going to be 2 to 1. That could be more actually. Let's take a look. Weapon effect, if it's armor against armor, half range, it's going to be doubled. That's still good. Well, so it's going to be 1-to-1. Because you have 8 factors against 9. 8 double is 16 to 9. So it's going to be 2-to-1. Yeah. And there are no modifiers, so I roll. 5. So I rolled a 5, 2-to-1, 5, and that's the dispersal. And then it mark it with a fire marker right here. Done. And this top unit is dispersed. All right. Now these infantry units here. Now I have these 2 howitzers. And they're 8. They can fire at this wagon always. They can also fire at this cavalry. What's their range? Range of 10. So they might be able to disperse one of these cavalries, and that could affect the odds against them. So let's take a look at the weapons effectiveness. Howitzers against infantry. That's not greater than half range, so it'd be normal. So it'll be 8 against 8. So they're going to fire, and this right here will be 1-to-1 odds against one of those cavalry. So I'm going to roll the dice. Nice. Okay. So 1-to-1 odds. And I get 1, and it's a heavy dispersal, special dispersal. And it's not already dispersed, it's just a regular dispersal. Excellent. Okay. Okay, so these 2 are marked as fired. That fired. So those 2 howitzers and that bunker fired. Or strong point, I should say. Okay, so is anybody else willing to fire or has targets to fire at even? See, by attacking up this slope, this pillbox right here, that 88 millimeter anti-armor gun, and that howitzer, the heavy howitzers, they don't have an effect because their line of sight's blocked. Let's take a look at that. Maybe not. Okay, maybe I was wrong. So they go through a hex that has terrain in it. So I want to look up that rule. Okay, I'm back. So I'm going to move the pieces, but this unit right here does have a line of sight to this unit right here because there's no woods hex side between those 2. So let me hide the pieces. So if you look, there's no actually, even though these are woods hexes, there's no woods hex side there. So the line of sight is not blocked. And this heavy armament right there does have a line of sight to this particular hex. So it's going to do that attack. Okay. So it's going to attack the undispersed. And it's going to attack at double power. So it's going to attack at 40. That's a powerful weapon. Yeah. Armor against armor, half a range or less. So it's double. So it's a double power assault, double attack factor. So it's going to be 40 to 9. So it's going to be a 4 to 1. And I'm going to roll it. Great 4 to 1 attack, a 2. And that is smoke. See, that would have made a big difference in the game too if I had seen that. So, control, fire. There we go. So it's fired. I'm going to mark it fired. All right, so the next weapon here is this 14. It's a howitzer with range of 10. Let's look at weapons effectiveness. Howitzer, half range or less, normal. So they would have had to combine attacks, I believe. All right, this is out of order. I'm just going to say the howitzer doesn't attack. Okay, so the howitzer doesn't attack. And I believe that's going to be the German fire phase. So now the German movement phase. Right? Fire, move, fire, move. Yeah, it makes sense, fire, move. All right, so now the movement phase. I don't think the Germans have any movement they want to do, or do they? Let me look up zone of control. Okay, so there is no zone of control in this game. So there's going to be no movement for the Germans. And what we're going to get is a close assault. And it's going to be against this remaining dispersed tank unit here. Participating is going to be that security unit, the security unit, and the engineer. So that's going to be 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 plus 3 is 7. So it's going to be a 1 to 2 odds. But since this engineers attacking with infantry, it's going to be 1 to 1 odds, and it's going to be a 1 to 1 minus 2. I'll roll the dice. So we get a 0, so that's a heavy dispersal, so that will wreck that vehicle right there. And that would be another wreck. All right, so that, and that was good firing right there. All right, so that fired in the last turn. I don't know why. What's this? Control F, okay. And let's see now. So that's the end of turn 4. Move that fire marker. I'll click on this. Okay, so I want to remove that fire marker. Looking good. Remove this fire marker. So I'm just cleaning up the map board right now. And remove that fire marker. And a German dispersal is removed. It's the end of the turn. And I believe that's done. All right, I do apologize. I do have the ability to pause my recording. And when I do upkeep and maintenance like that on the board, I'm just going to pause it and come back. So, and then I'm going to come back. I'm just going to say I'm going to remove all the necessary markers. They need to be removed. All right. So we're going to go on to the next turn. So we're going on to the top of turn 5. And I think I'm going to stop at this point because I think I want to keep these videos short. So what happened right here during this turn is that this weapon right here found its range, took out one of these tanks. These two had a successful close assault, eliminated this dispersal right here. I think there might have been dispersed before, but I'm making some mistakes, but I'm learning. So 2 tanks were taken out in their wrecks, 2 tank platoons. The cavalry moved up the hill in order to be able to close assault this unit right here and eliminate it, because this close assault unit is basically by itself. You have the mortar and the howitzers coming up the hill. Over here you have one of the infantry submachine gun units next to the town and next to the actual pillbox. What would be, and I'm not sure if you can close assault on a pillbox. Let's check. Okay, so units can close assault fortifications. So if you have all these cavalry right here against this fortification right here, you have a 1-to-1 odds, but it'll shift to the next. Well, no, because unfortunately the Russians don't have fortifications, so it would just be a 1-to-1 odds. Those are tough nuts to crack. I have to remove the fire markers too. It's a very, very difficult position for the Germans to attack, but I do think it's possible. Anyways, that's turn 4. I hope you're enjoying this series, and I will be back tomorrow with turn 5. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.